Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name, but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Yes, indeed. What's up? Max? How are you? We're back again. We was just here 2 days ago. We're here again.
Yeah. It's race time. We gotta.
I know it's race time.
We gotta keep it up. It's big races happening, dude.
I know, but we have something else bigger to talk about before we even get into the race that's going on. But before we do that, you know what, everybody? Welcome to episode number 151 of the No Name RC podcast. We celebrated our 150th episode the other day, and thank you to everybody that's reached out to us and congratulated us. We can't do it without you guys, so thank you. Tune in, share this for us. I know people are watching the race, but we're going to talk about this race and the bombshell that was dropped yesterday. But hey, thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world. We can't do it without you guys. 2022 is coming. NNRC 2.0 is coming. Watch this space. We're gonna get better, bigger and better. Shout out to the patrons of the podcast. We can't do it without you guys either. You go the extra mile. If you guys wish to be a patron of the podcast, the link for that is in the written description of this podcast. Also, we can't do this without the sponsors. And remember, showing the sponsors some love shows the podcast some love. So thank you to Mayako, Beach RC, TNR Fuels, High Tech RCD, Techno RC, Sun City RC Raceway, JQ Saddam Muskim, JQ Scale Motorsports, JQ Racing, Donovan RC, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Racecraft USA, RCGP, House of RC, who's been very helpful with what we've been doing here for the race, and shout out to So Dialed app. Check that out, guys. It's a great app for you guys. What's up, everybody? Welcome, man. We got 34 people in here. That's not bad for a Friday. Come on, guys, share this here. Let's get some more people in here. We got Connie in here. We got RC Jarvis. We got Zach. Man, if Zach was gonna be up, I would have had him on here. We was just talking about this race. So anyway, guys, AMS is on. I know. Okay, first off, let's get this right off the bat. I know there was no moving cams, and nobody was more pissy about that than me, right? I have had my nose in a joint since yesterday for not having moving cams, but oh hark, a miracle has happened, and we have moving cams for the last 2 rounds of e-buggy. We're gonna go over the last qualifier of e-buggy, but we have moving cams. They're clear. I love it. I can't wait. Yes, AMS 12.0 is finally here, but something, you know what, Max? Man, let me tell you, I don't get surprised much anymore in this industry, but I have to absolutely say, yesterday I said I'm gonna tuck my daughter in. She wanted to go sleep. Put her to sleep for a little nap and all that type of stuff. So I decided I was gonna take a little nap with her, and I slept for about 20 minutes, and I said, oh, let me check my phone real quick, and then I'll go sleep. So in between that 20 minutes where I closed my eyes and then opened them back up and checked my phone, silly season just like came out of nowhere like a ninja assassin and almost slit my throat. Like guerrilla warfare at its best, man. It like pounced out of nowhere and be like, ha, take this, Keenan. Luckily, my silly season, being a silly season veteran that I am, I was able to deflect. But, dude, that is probably the biggest news we have had in years.
Yeah. Like I was
David Ronnefalk.
It's like David Ronnefalk leaving HP Racing is probably the biggest move since Testman leaving HP, Mayfield leaving TLR. Moves like that.
Drake leaving TLR. It's the biggest Drake leaving TLR.
Yeah. It's huge. Like this is where David built his like professional career. He was big with Kyosho, but with HB, with Bertin, that's all he has built in the. He won his first world championship with HB. All that. It's yeah, it's a huge deal for sure.
Dude, my phone did not stop until I went sleep last night.
Yeah.
I woke up and like all hell broke loose, and I was like, oh, what is this? So I messaged David right off the bat. I'm like, I thought we was friends. What's going on here? I thought we was boys, you know? But yeah, hey, I was his like, oh, you mean that? I was like, no, don't play coy with me. Don't play coy with me. What's going on here? And he will not tell me. He will not tell me where he's going. He won't. He's not even dropping any hints. He knows. He knows not to tell me. He knows when he wouldn't. hey, hey. I just, man, it's like usually these things happen near the end of silly season. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the
for
last
sure.
couple of days of the year. But this came out like, oh man, like a home run in baseball, a touchdown in football, a six in cricket. It was like
Yeah.
right off the bat. So
Yeah.
before I know we're gonna talk about this race, but we have to dedicate a few minutes to this because we will probably
Yeah,
talk
for
more in
sure.
depth about this on Monday. But what is the ramifications of this? Where does he go? Everybody's just throwing out things. Obviously, the first thing I thought was Infinity. Obviously, the internet thinks Mayako. Trust me, in my dreams, and you know, like if I was to ever, you know, like to be able to work that close towards with not that I'm, you know what I mean, but to have that guy, like, you know,
Mhm.
I think the Vikings. I think the Vikings, the only guy. Like one thing, JQ and I agree, and I think you agree too, is that he is the one guy that I think you can sign today, and he affects sales today. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure. Yeah, he's
Um,
like I always in Europe. I always say like I always pick Ongaro ahead of him and stuff like that. But David is the guy who puts the effort in. He has the social media game down. He's a very nice guy. Like he's a likable guy. So
yeah,
to have him on your brand, it's a win for anyone. So yeah,
trust me.
David is the like top one guy in my opinion in the world to have if you're age scale brand for sure.
So, like, you know, everybody thinks Mayako. I mean, if JQ has pulled this off, like, he has kept this so secret that I didn't even have a clue. But I don't like. It's my dream and hopes that this is it. But I know in reality that it can't be. You know what I mean? Because I know how much
Yeah.
David Ronnefalk would cost, and I just know that that's not feasible right off the bat. So, man, but wow, it would be so awesome. So let's look at some of the actual possible places that he can go real quick. But he's the
sure.
fucking Viking, and he can go wherever he wants. I think so.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, okay, let's look at who can probably afford him because I'm hearing mixed things. I'm hearing maybe Adrien's out of the industry, but then I'm not sure because then you read his thing and he
Yeah.
says,
Yeah. The thing is, if they leave at the same time, I can't see an option where Adrian goes out because the thing is, as I understood it, David had his contract until 2023, which means that he left the mid contract. Maybe a mutual decision. Maybe he made the call. Maybe HB made the call that they wanted something to change. I don't know. But in the end, he left mid contract. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I think is the fact still.
mhm.
Uh, and to me, the fact that they announced it the way announced, which is David and Bertin is leaving, to me, it's the only option is these guys are joining some team together.
Well,
So yeah,
you, you know, I'm thinking that he's leaving because I'm heard that, but then you read his thing and he says, "Oh, we live for challenges, and the next one is going to be extremely challenging." So, man, I think it's Infinity. It could be Infinity. Maybe Adrian
Infinity
gets in
would
that role.
be Infinity would be sort of the number one pick, I think, not from the perspective of David, but from the perspective of how the industry is at the moment.
Hmm.
Uh, but there are some other options. It's to me, I can't see sort of a conventional brand like TLR or AE or anything like
But
that.
I can
taking
see
another car.
TLR doing that. I can. I
I
think
can't. I
I
can't. I
think
just
that
can't.
you get Adrien Bertin and the Ronnefalk on your team. The proof is in the pudding. Look at the success that they had at HB, and look at how many how like just look how like let's be realistic. Like maybe not over where you are, but HB is actually extremely huge in America. You know what I mean?
Oh,
On
I
both
mean,
coasts.
yeah, and even in Europe, HB is pretty big.
Yeah, I mean worldwide,
David
it's a
has a lot
big
of
brand.
influence. It is. It is. But
But we also have to understand that mostly everybody that's running this car is also on a deal. I'm just saying, but it's a great car. It's
yeah, for
super
sure.
popular. People like it. But I also believe that Ronnefalk and Bertin were very influential in making and getting
Oh,
it
for
to this
sure.
level.
And I think Bertin is one of the main sort of influences on the car. Like obviously Torrance is, I believe, still the main designer of the car, but Bertin for sure, he is probably the guy who tests the most and improves the car the most. And him and David leaving is a huge blow for HB because I consider this car one of the, say, let's say top three, top four platformers in the market right now. And now Cole, as good as he is, he's not a world champion. He's not even a Raw national champion, and he is the top guy for this brand.
Mhm.
So he has some big boots to fill, or HB needs to get a new guy in.
Or he's
And
next.
I
Just
mean,
saying. I'm just
but where
saying.
does he go though? Where does he go
Look,
though?
look. I'm gonna say
You're
something
shooting from
real
the hip
quick.
again, Keenan. You're
No,
shooting
I'm
from
not.
the
No,
hip
I'm not.
again.
Listen to this. Listen to this. So the day before, it's Friday, right? So Thursday, Wednesday, I got a message from a listener of this podcast who runs HB. I'm not gonna say which country he's in, but he's not in America, and he's not in. He's like in a place where the HB is popular. So he was like, "Hey, Lefty, let me ask you something. Have you noticed that David Ronnefalk isn't posting about HB much now?" And he goes, "Let me tell you something. I can't get parts. I can't even get a new kit where I am right here. And HB is popular here." Then I heard from another guy how he can't get parts for his HB and is still waiting for 50% of his order in South America. So I'm not saying that anything's wrong with HB, but I've heard for many years about finance. We all know how companies, get held up with parts because they don't have to pay the factories, and the factories hold up the parts, and so they can get, how it works. So I'm not saying that anything's wrong with HB, but I can bet you boots that if Ronnefalk and Adrien Bertin are leaving early, it has something to do with this in the
Oh,
end.
for sure. Yeah, that's 100%.
By the way, that's
If
money, people, money.
yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt that at some point of the conversation, money came up, and there wasn't enough when it was HB.
Yes.
Uh,
So I,
but I don't
I
think money is the whole issue here. I'm
no
100%
no
sure
because
because David, I know David, I know Adrian. They're guys who want to win.
yes,
They don't bullshit around. They want to win, and they're not going to a brand just for money. That I know for sure.
right. So they'll go into a brand. Yeah, see, look, this one guy says I've been waiting for a new HB kit since May. So this is the stories that I'm getting from people. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So look, I David Ronnefalk does not have a tire sponsor because he wants to be on the best tire at every race that he's at.
exactly.
So we know
Exactly.
that he is all about winning and being the best that he can be. And Adrien and him are like they are, meant like it's like Yoda and Luke, or Palpatine
Yeah.
and freaking Darth
Yeah.
Vader. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
these guys have been driver and mechanic since 2009 when David won the European B Championships. These guys have been since David has been in the international scene, they have been sort of a pair. So yeah,
I know what we're gonna take questions later, but I have to actually we probably should tackle this one real quick because it's actually a great question from Matt Harris. What's up, Matt? Remember Matt from out in Santa Barbara?
yeah, for sure,
In
for
in
sure.
in your opinions, which brands are the most financially stable? Well, TLR.
Yeah, TLR, no doubt. TLR is it's the revenue behind Horizon Hobbies is immense. It's incredible. That's the biggest brand in RC by far. Not TLR, but the Horizon Hobbies Corporation.
Which
Uh,
I'm hearing. I'm not going to say yet, but I said this a couple of months ago on the podcast, I believe, that Horizon is about to gobble up another big old company in RC. And it's not a tire company.
yeah,
It's not a body company. It's a chassis company.
yeah, yeah. I
And I'm hearing that
hope
the
that
deal's
doesn't
almost
happen.
done.
Yeah, I
That's what I'm
hope that
hearing.
doesn't happen, but I don't know. So
All
the
right.
second
So,
one is X-ray, but that's
yes.
not to RC income. That's from out of RC income.
Mhm.
They get support from EU. They do outsourcing for other big manufacturers. Uh, X-ray is number two. Infinity, in my opinion, even though they have the biggest backing monetary wise, they're still number three because of the fact that their monetary backing isn't very secure. It's one guy. He does whatever he wants with his money.
Mhm.
Someday he just says RC racing sucks and he quits. That's why Infinity comes in at three. He can afford it. He can do crazy things like spend hundreds of thousands on one weekend race for on-road nitro cars. Uh, but the thing is, it's not very stable income in
Right.
a
I know
sense
what you
that
mean. It's
he
like
can decide.
MX. It's like
Yeah,
MX.
yeah,
When
exactly. He has a lot of top drivers, and then just one day they just quit. Like that's
mhm.
what happened to MX this year.
Yeah, and then I would put Mugen in number 4 actually,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
they're the
Hmm.
smartest. Like they don't spend a lot of
Yeah,
money. They don't. They've also used their heritage and their brand, of course,
yeah,
and they have Drake and they have Mayfield and they have Battier, and that's
hmm,
all they need. That's all they
yeah,
need.
yeah.
So and then one guy says Nemo. I don't know. I don't really know what Nemo's financial
Okay,
side is.
Nemo. The thing about Nemo is, uh, they have also outside of RC money. Nemo is sort of one of those companies where it's well, I don't know how to
I know what you
nicely say
mean.
a tax write-off, but it basically is that
It's supported by
for
outside. It's supported by outside
yeah,
the industry money as
yeah,
well. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
completely supported off Nemo Racing,
yeah.
whereas Mugen
But
is. I would say,
yeah, Mugen is
uh,
probably the only big company who only goes by with inside RC money and inside racing money.
yes,
Horizon survives with RC money, but it's mostly because of Arma. It's mostly because of like Axial, all those like scale brands and stuff. So
mhm.
it's not really racing money. TLR isn't that big. I'd say A is much bigger in terms of racing than what TLR is around the world. Uh, and yeah, I think it's hard to say about AE. They're owned by Thunder Tiger, which probably makes a decent amount of money. It's an A. They have sort of a connection with the factory. They have that. I think. I think A would be the next one. But yeah,
If Nemo has
Nemo.
bank, they should sponsor the podcast.
Yeah, but the thing is, Nemo is it's yeah, Nemo has money, but I think the guys who run it sort of want to make it sort of stable financially. They don't want to just spend money on it. They want to make it work as well.
Right, right. They want
So
the money from the RC to
yeah,
pay for the
exactly.
RC. I get that.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's it, guys. We don't know much more. I mean, trust me, everybody's being very tight-lipped. I have trust me on the whole Ronnefalk thing. I've been running so many scenarios through my head, and just yeah, just kind of I don't know. My brain's tired. I can't think anymore about it. So, and it doesn't take long for my brain to get tired. But anyway, Max. So AMS is on the way. We are watching AMS. We finally got. Oh, of course, we got Mick Craddock tuned in. He says if they want to win, it's Kyoshin or Mugen. If they want money, then it's elsewhere. He ain't wrong
I
because
disagree though. I disagree. There are other these days. There are other bands you can win with. Ongaro has proved it. Uh, I think HP has been the brand as well outside of Mugen and Kyosho. And Kyosho has sort of lacked now. They have stepped back a bit,
oh no,
for
Mick is not
sure.
gonna like that. He is not
Yeah,
gonna
he's
like
not
that
gonna like it.
answer.
He's Kyosho for life, and
I know.
I get it. Kyosho was, let's say, 2000. Let's say until 2014, 15, 16 is stretching it. Until that time, Kyosho was the car to beat. After that, it's been pretty much Mugen or Mugen
HB
AE
or
HB,
HB
those cars, yeah,
Techno.
for sure.
All right.
Techno?
Well,
What?
it's a very popular car in America.
Oh
It's
no, no,
very
but
popular.
I mean like the car which wins races.
Oh, okay. Why not Mayako? I don't. You know what? I'm with Mel Marks. We should stop saying why not, and we should start saying why can't we?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I say
But
about
okay, let's
Mayako.
get into AMS. And I
All
want to
right.
point
So
out, I want to start out with something that actually Zach Ryan pointed out in the comments, which is this race has been J Concept's dominance.
it
Not just
always
like
is
J
though.
Concept's being good. Like, normally, yeah, race time races usually get dominated by J Concepts, but this race has been crazy. It's like the first guy not to run J Concepts has been in every round, let's say sixth, seventh, eighth. It's it's crazy. It's like
Yeah. One, two,
it's
three.
J Concepts only. No, I mean 1 to 5 is J Concepts
Yeah.
most rounds. It's crazy. Yeah, it's these races as well.
We should probably stream
I
that
don't
race. It's
know.
Pro Nitro Truck
It's Nitro Track right now.
coming up, says Kevin. I don't know if the quality
Okay,
will be
yeah,
good.
yeah. Let's see. But the thing is, I don't know if they're sourcing at this track. It looks very hard
They
packed.
are. They're saucing.
They're sourcing. Everyone is,
Yeah,
or
I sauced when I was there, and it was in June, and so they're definitely
yeah.
saucing there.
Okay, so yeah, but Fend was running that. Can't remember the name of the tire, but the low thread, no non-pin tire, at least. And I think Mayfield and everyone else is running that as well. So I don't know if Hot Race has a tire like that. They do have some tire like that, but the thread is a little bit different. It resembles the Pro Line Electrons a bit. It's not as similar as the J Concepts ones, which sort of look a lot like the AK chain links or something like that. So
No, you
yeah,
on
it's
like a rehab or an what else was I on her? When I was her, I used like green, and I used in the morning I would use a black, I think it was, which was the super soft rehab
yeah. I mean,
or
but no.
reflex,
These these
reflex.
these
Sorry.
guys these guys are on low thread. It's the can't remember the name of it, but it's basically it kind of looks like the chain link of AKA. I ran
The
this tire
Eclipse.
at oh Eclipse, yeah, exactly, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they're running from J
we didn't
Concepts.
have the
And
Eclipse in 2018.
yeah, yeah, that came out a bit later, but that's really good tire when it's clean line. I ran that at Badlands. It's good, and it's a little bit lower than the chain link from AKA. Uh, it's a little bit sort of bigger than the typo from AKA or the scribble from AKA or electrons from Proline. So it's sort of in between all that, and it works really well in certain conditions, especially East Coast dirt for some reason. I mean, most likely because they test a lot on it. But yeah, tires has been, I think, a huge factor here. It's
Oh,
clear
most
like
definitely.
Jones is beating Tebow almost every round now. When usually Tebow is the strongest techno driver.
Right.
So yeah, I
Hornhorse
think
is fast. Well, I also
yeah,
think that this.
exactly. Yeah.
So okay. So I know a lot of people have been confused with the qualifying system. I get it, and then the software does not allow for some reason it counts it like regular 5 minute qualifying. So that's not actually the way it's supposed to be. So so everybody else today, if you're watching the last round, it's your top 3 laps. So yeah, you just gotta like watch us. We're doing Pro Nitro Buggy. So every time Pro Nitro Buggy is done, we'll have the results, and that's the actual real results. We won't have times for everybody, but we have times for the top 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it's. I think tomorrow would be normal because it's just gonna be 10-minute races, so it's gonna be as
Mhm.
races.
Yeah,
But
there's gonna be
today,
I think there's gonna be I don't know if it's 1 race each heat or 2 race each
one
heat,
race,
but there'll
no,
be
one race each heat.
okay, yeah. They'll be, yeah, and then they have lower mains at the end of the day. So they run, I think, up to B mains
Really?
uh tomorrow. At least on some classes they run up until B mains tomorrow.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. But they
Really, to
have
B
double
mains
mains
tomorrow?
for, yeah, they have double mains in the E classes, and they have
Hmm.
I think it was at least Truggy. I think they run up to B main, but I'm not
Well,
sure.
you was right,
It might
Kevin.
have
Kevin was
switched
asking
around.
that this morning. So yeah, on live RC, click on the EPD button, and then you can see the top average 3 laps. Yes, we get that, but it's not. Is it showing on like if you go to the
Yeah,
top?
you can see on Live RC if you go to round results, let's
Mm-hmm.
say round three qualifiers, you
Mm-hmm.
click sort by three consecutive laps or top three consecutive or something. I don't know what they call
Right,
it.
right, right. I
That way
get
you
that.
can see the actual order. But the issue is when you go to overall rankings, it
Mm-hmm.
somehow combines the results. It doesn't count with points. So that's the wrong ranking. So you kind of have to count the overall by yourself, uh, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, we'll after Q3 we'll try to get the overall up on NNRC Facebook. I'll count it if they don't have it up on Live RC.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at Q2 right now. They are just going into the first heat of Pro Truggy, I think. Is it? No, Pro
Yeah,
Truggy. Yeah.
so yeah, probably in 5 minutes we gotta check out the top heat, right? Or do they have? Yeah, they have two heats.
No, I'm lost here. I lost that already, did I must have. All right. Cool. Mick says 3 laps is shit. Man, I think it.
I think it's better. I think
I
it's a
think
lot better, dude.
talking to people that are there, that they seem to like it a little bit more. You know,
Yeah,
you can make some mistakes, and then you could go out there, and you don't have to focus for 5 minutes. I think our brains just aren't used to that. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I know my brain took a while to
yeah,
register that
yeah.
type of stuff.
The thing here is, I can dig 5 minute qualifiers, uh, even 10 minute qualifiers. But the thing is, it's not about speed at this point. It's about consistency already. In 5 minutes, it's about consistency, and I think especially at these bigger races, you go out like it's so like you have multiple hours between your runs. The track changes a lot. You might have messed up seating or something. Having sort of the security to only do, let's say, top three consecutive laps or the top five overall laps or whatever, I think this way, sort of, you can sort the drivers out by actual speed and things like luck or track position or like heat at any point. Because at the
Hmm.
Euros, there has been a lot of times where you seed into some heat, the drag track gets much better through the round, and you are either in the bad heat or a good heat, and you get a really good run in. I remember in 2016 at the Worlds, there was this Finnish guy who qualified fourth in one round. He's just a
Really?
guy. He pays for his stuff. He's a regular guy. He's been racing for a long time. He's a fast racer for sure. But this guy qualified fourth in the Worlds only because he was 10-minute qualifiers. He didn't pit. He did a clean run. It was a good run. He was best run of the race. And the track was a lot better than anyone else's. I
Really?
don't think qualifying is about that. I don't think qualifying is about having the best track, having the best way around traffic. I think qualifying is about being fast, and I think having the top three consecutive or having top five overall best laps. I think that is a much better measurement for speed because in the end, in the mains, consistency will pay off. You don't
Hmm.
have to pay the contention doesn't have to pay off until the mains happen. And I think this is the way to go for the future. This is much better to follow for spectators. It's much more exciting. There's much more stuff happening. So yeah, I'm personally a huge fan, and I think for the people at this race, it's also more fun because you don't have to stress out about, like, especially in American races, you have most likely a one warm up lap. So you have to sort of find your spot there. Uh, at the nationals, we saw people missing their first lap and stuff like that. Uh,
Yeah,
and
it just
all
allows for
those
mistakes.
issues.
Like Brandon Rose flamed out in his qualifier, like in the beginning, but he still
Yeah,
was able to put in a good qualifier. And
yeah,
we have room for this. It's just that we have to put our brain around it. You know what I mean? As a qualifying system. So we're
yeah.
streaming right now.
Exactly.
We're probably gonna get in trouble for doing this, but this is all property of Race Time Entertainment, people. But it's live, and I said, why not? We got the Pro Truggy going on. Um, and we got moving cams, man. I'm just so happy that we have moving cams. Yes, Mick, I
Yeah.
would like to see it done like relay race format. I think at this race, I think they could have had heads up racing for qualifying, but they have heads up
But you know
tomorrow.
what?
So
You know what? I definitely disagree. The reader race format is one of the worst. It's 100% down to luck for sure.
well, that too, because you
It's
gotta.
the starting positions are drawn. You don't you are not guaranteed. Like, let's imagine a race where Jared Tebow or whoever, pick your favorite driver, starts every time there's a really bad heat around him, starts in last place, and every time where it's the toughest heat around him, he starts first, and all his rivals starts last. That's so unfair. That's not real racing. That's not fair racing. That's all down to luck. For spectators, probably fun, but I respect fairness. I respect proper racing. I respect speed of the drivers. I care about the guy who wins is actually the fastest and most skilled, not the one who has the most luck. So
Wow,
I
arrogant
I
one,
want
you are
to,
really upset about this part about this.
yeah,
You feel passionate
because
about this.
people don't realize this. People should say, "Oh, racing is fun." I want more racing, but the thing is, we had at RCGP, we had in RC2, we had races for qualifying, and it was kind of by time, and everyone hated it because they had to race against each other, but they still had to have a good time. That sucks. Having the reader race format with, let's say, okay, what did it say? So you have two good laps, and then someone takes you out in the last lap, and you have to start again. Yeah, I mean, that's like F1, dude. Like, you have two good sectors, and in the third sector, someone's in your way. Do you watch F1 like, oh, this guy had very good two sectors, and in the third one, you're like, oh, he should have had the best lap, but he didn't have a good third one. No, it's to me, it's if it was the best lap, it will be too short. It's most likely 30 seconds or so. That's a short amount of time, and you can really push for one lap and get it sort of a ghost lap in. That's why I think three consecutives is a good. I think even better would be top five laps. And Joseph also said this as well before in our pre-race show. Having a top five overall laps, you can have it so that you just do five fast laps, and if you have a 5 minute run, that usually means sort of half or third of your laps need to be fast. We still still need some consistency here. It's not about just pushing and doing some crazy laps in. It's about like repeating your speed. So I think either system is pretty good. It's better than the 5 minute one for sure. And for you viewers, it's definitely a lot better to have a system like that. That's what I think,
Okay.
at least.
All right, Max. We're gonna come back. I'll put the stream back on when the top guys will be on in a few minutes. But you definitely are very passionate about that. That was your biggest rant I've ever seen you go on. But I think there's room for everything. You know what I mean? I think they could have done like one qualifier regular, one qualifier racing, and then one qualifier like 3 lap consecutives too. But then I don't know. Um, from people that I'm talking to were doing it for the first time, they kind of like it. So we shall see. Um, all right, so Max, do you want to talk about Nitro Buggy real quick? Because you
Yeah.
are all in love with Fren right now, and you just are so amazed at how fast he is. Even though I knew all of this anyway, nobody just wants
You
to
know
listen
what?
to Lefty.
I'll correct you a bit here. I'll correct you a bit. I was excited because Fend was looking like Ongara for a second,
Yeah.
but deep down in my heart, I knew Fend is Fend. He like what is a tiger doesn't change his stripes, or
A
what's
leopard
the
doesn't change its
a lep
spots.
yeah, in spots. Uh, he's already getting a little bit shaky here, and
Well, Mayfield and Rivkin were right on his ass
yeah,
on that second round,
yeah,
and
and
where he was blown away by almost the first one was like a 2 sec, like Seedon was 2 seconds, and he was a second
yeah, the
ahead. You
first
know,
one, yeah, it was crazy differences to start out with, but tomorrow 10-minute race. He's got
piece of
to
cake.
hold on to the he's
I cannot
I know
I cannot
he's got to
legally
hold
pick.
yeah he's
I
got to
cannot
do a
legally
pit
pick him.
stop,
So
hold on to that number one spot, and then after that he has to do that again, and now for 45 minutes. Uh, yeah, I still hold my initial picks. I think I picked Mayfield, Testament, Fend. I think the J Concepts dominance is sort of spoiling my Testament pick
yeah,
here.
I forgot all
Uh,
about the tire war.
yeah, I'm surprised because a PMB Testament was fine with hot race, and
Different
but
track, man. Different track.
yeah,
Different
but
type of dirt. Different
Southern
track.
Nats, Ogden was struggling with hot race as well. So it could be just that, yeah, some of these races the dirt isn't fitting hot race tires. This race doesn't seem as bad as Southern Nats for Ogden, but there's definitely some difficulties as well.
Well, I mean, we have Joe Bornhorst showing on you. Like, I mean, we talk about Bornhorst not being always in the hunt for things, but man, he's looking extremely fast this weekend, and that's because of the. I think the 3 lapses helped him out. I think we'll see tomorrow with with the uh with the like you said with the 10-minute race. We'll see like the cream kind of rise to the top as usual.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's going to be interesting. I'm glad we have a lot of racing going on tomorrow. I cannot pick Fenn legally. I've been banned from picking him, so I don't want to be getting sued by Horizon if I pick him, even though I think he can win this. The track is grooved up. If I remember from when I was at this track, man, it was just in the mornings it was a little slick because the moisture was still in it. But I think being as it's cold there now, and it's it's not staying as wet as it or as humid as it probably does. It's grooved up nice and it doesn't look rough. I mean, it's not like baby bottom smooth, but it looks good. We've
yeah.
had
It's
some
very
incidents of
grooved up
track
for
cutting.
sure.
Uh,
Yeah,
you know,
I see this track cutting issue. You said it was on the six pack, but I don't really see a spot where you can do some
well, here's
outrageous
I think
track
that's
cut.
Tyler Jones going through there right now, and
I think what they do is they cut the middle one, but even
mhm.
then it's not that outrageous. I think it's
Well, and then I heard, yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. I just heard Lance calling it out when at to some racers, and he says you will be you will get in trouble if you do that. So I think the track's all right. It's probably cold in there, and
yeah,
it's
it could
just
be. It could be.
it's like in the 30s there, and it's inside that building. That building actually held it's different. Like when I was there in June, it was so hot and humid in there, man. It was just bad. Like I was not in the pits, and some guy must have decided that he was gonna leave his car started in the pits for the entire Sportsman B main, which was 30 minutes. So I was just sucking in pure. It was bad, very bad. But any surprises for you in this, Max? Let's look at who has surprised you here. I mean, Spencer Rivkin has not surprised me. He's up where he's supposed to be most of the time. Tyler
Yeah,
Jones is showing great pace. Um,
realistically, there hasn't been any surprises, and that's also because of the format. It's not down to luck, so the
mhm,
fastest drivers are fast, and that's how it always should be. Now we're gonna have the race tomorrow, the qualifying race or Super Bowl as these guys call it. That's gonna have some outliers in it. It's gonna test the drivers over 10 minutes. It's gonna test the drivers driving against each other on track, and then we're gonna see some surprises. But so far, I think it's not that surprising. Obviously, Testament and Ogden are a bit low on the sheets, but the
mhm.
thing is, it's I think it's just down to tires. Not all tracks you can have these good results in. Okay, one driver I think is a bit surprising is Cavalieri. He was
I think it's the
there
tires,
after.
man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's running Pro Line. You're right.
Yeah,
I
but
forgot
this
about
guy
that.
says it's the camel hump after the step up into the left.
Camel Hump. Oh, okay.
Is it this?
So this one, I think, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see that. You can cut that if, yeah. I know you can. I could see someone also cutting that thing on the right where there's the marshals standing there. You just go
Hmm,
wide on the sort of upper section and then cut the next one.
interesting.
Yeah, I think there are some parts where you can do track cutting, which is a bit outrageous, but I think it's more down to sort of the track designer to make sure there aren't parts where you can take advantage of it.
Or put something there. Like remember we put
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pole of doom and
Yeah,
RCGP.
I mean, I don't like the poles because you can go inside the pole, but
Hmm.
the best way to do it is just put like a fence. At Neo Buggy, they often did this. If there was a jump where you could cut it, they put a fence there.
Did you want to talk us through a lap here, Max? Like if you was, we need to pick somebody here. Who's that? That's Lutz.
Yeah, I think that's Brunson. Not sure. I'm
That
pretty
looks
sure
like
that's
Lutz.
Brunson.
Brunson
Oh, it's
runs
green
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 wheels.
front. No, but that's green front end.
No, that's not Lutz either.
I think that's Brunson. I'm pretty sure.
No, that's Lutz's colors.
No, no, but it's
Oh,
green. I see green.
oh, you're behind
Whatever.
me. I don't know
Okay.
what you're watching. Anyway, I don't think that's gonna work too good.
Oh, okay. Uh, let's see if he
That's
picks a car now. Okay, that was Rivkin. Okay,
looks like
he's
he's picking
filming
up.
Rivkin. Yeah, he's picking
Uh,
up Rivkin. So, okay, let's start from here. So now going back into the rear six pack, I think this is the coolest section of the track. You gotta pick a good line and then sort of have a good line into the sort of elevated section on the top right. At the end of
mhm.
the straight, it's nothing too crazy. Well, he's picking a new car again. He just can't decide. Yeah, I mean the track looks really cool altogether though. It there aren't like the triple, the end of the straight, the double after the straight. All that is pretty easy looking. It's pretty just 90, get the jump in, 180, get a jump in, all that. It seems pretty easy. The six pack is sort of the only spot where
It's
you can
hard. It looks hard,
it
isn't it? It's
it
off
looks hard,
angle.
yeah. Yeah, and
It's
like
it's
that's the
turning.
point where you make up a lot of
Yeah.
time for sure.
I saw some guys like being able to triple or hitting this and then triple and land her and then go, on that last thing or hit that, you know.
Yeah,
So in Nitro Buggy, I think Jones was jumping this whole thing at one point. Uh
yeah. The thing is, like jumping huge on these six packs or something like that. It's always a bit hard to do
it's
consistently,
risky.
and
It's risky
it
too.
it is. And even if you gain, let's say, a tenth or two to a lap, you're gonna crash there at some point. So that's a more of a loss. And I'm looking at the results right now, and it was actually Rivkin who was TQ this round. It's
Of
Rivkin,
Truggy?
Ogden of Chuggy. Yeah, Rivkin, Ogden, Lutz, Fuller, Fend down in fifth. Cavalieri, Mayfield, Bornhorst, Tyler Jones, and Spencer Hackett around the top 10. I'll see if there was a guy from the previous heat who made it into. Oh, actually, Tebow made it into 10th, I think. So Tebow rounds the top 10. But yeah, Fan down to fifth. So maybe the prophet is already falling down and the dreams are crumbling. I don't
Well,
know. We
does
gotta
it
wait
really
until
matter in
Nitro
Truggy?
Buggy. Yeah, Truggy isn't
I know.
that.
I know we guys are kind of like pro Nitro Buggy. So even though I like Truggy, sorry guys, I'm got my nose is running here. All right. It's hard to say because without being able to really have moving cams, and we just got moving cams like 20 minutes before we came on the air.
Yeah.
I haven't really been paying attention to the race because it's just without the moving cameras, it's like it's like you can't.
It is. Yeah,
I was just
it's
so
like,
frustrated about that.
yeah, because the thing is, you wanna follow it and you wanna be interested in it, but like it's really hard when you can't really see the cars. You're like trying to figure out what car is that, or yeah, all that. It's a bit difficult for sure.
Hey, Mike Walker, are you ready to come on or are you racing? I think I missed my chance to call him.
Yeah,
He
yeah, always great
so
having them.
he's like, oh, I'm free, and then I missed him. Let's take some questions while we're here. Anybody have any questions they want to ask before we go on and see what's going on? Because honestly, I think we can't really analyze any more of the race until we see some more racing tomorrow. You know what I mean? And see the final round, who goes in. Well, obviously, Fen's probably gonna go in as the overnight TQ, and but yeah, they still got to race that race tomorrow, which should be interesting. Any questions? You guys can just post them here in the chat. Uh, anything you guys want to ask Max, or is let's see if we have some questions back here. Um, we have. What about the fastest guy? I'd like someone to try. Evan Osborne says, I'd like someone to try time trials for qualifying. One lap, one car at a time. People think it's boring to watch, but I like it. You can focus on a single car where they gain or lose. They actually do that in on road Super Bowl.
100, yeah, Super Bowl. The thing is, it's very time consuming, very, very time consuming. So it is, the Super Bowls are one of the most exciting things to follow because you watch one car. If he makes a mistake, everyone who's watching in the stands is just like, oh, and you can hear the sort of crowd because it's only one car. So Super Bowls are fun, but you have to limit the cars. You can't do every car because it's the time it takes is
Mhm.
it's a lot. So I
Benjamin,
think I think this sort of top three consecutive or top five overall is the best compromise you can have here.
Benjamin James. What's up, Benjamin? What do you think of this qualifying format? You want my honest opinion? Watching it, it's not very fun. Uh, but
I think
I'm not
okay,
there.
it's
No,
it's
because if we
it's
don't have the scoring for it, if we had the proper
yeah,
scoring
exactly.
for it,
You
it would
you
be a
need
little bit
score.
better.
Yeah, you need scoring, you need commentating, but like try to watch a 5 minute run without scoring or commentating. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You don't know, you have no idea what's going on. So pretty much any qualifying without timing and proper commentating is boring.
I would
Really,
agree with
only
that.
racing is exciting.
I think the racers
So
are enjoying it from just
for
talking
sure,
to some of my friends that are there. They're like, hey, and you can see it's helping. It, it does separate people, but it also helps some people out. Like so hey,
yeah,
I made a mistake. I can catch myself and go back. I would like to try it as a racer. You
yeah,
know what I mean, and see how it
yeah.
feels.
I think the thing is that just especially those guys who go to this race who don't practice that much, who go to have a, let's say they have a job, they go to the track only every weekend or something. They have some speed, they don't have all that consistency. They go to this race, let's say one huge race a few months, uh, and then you have to do 5 minute runs where you only run a few times a day. It's a lot of stress, it's a lot of pressure. You crash in the first two laps and you're already like, okay, my run is done. That's something you want to avoid. You want to have these guys run, push themselves to the limits on the tracks they run in, and try to get a fast run. I think this sort of format allows for that. And then the best part is tomorrow you will have the 10-minute race heat to determine the final qualifying spot. So
Mhm.
it's combining both. It's combining pure speed. It's combining racecraft and being able to hold on there for 10 minutes. Uh, and yeah, that's what I think. I think this is the best race format that there has been so far. Watching RC2 in 2019 was amazing. Every single time those cars went out for that last qualifier, which was a qualifying race, that was amazing. It was always people were fighting for positions. It was clean racing. It was good racing. People got the taste of racing before going into those 20-minute bump up lanes. It was
Right.
I always enjoyed it. Only just watching it.
And I just Yeah, I think it. I like the heads up part of it too as well. So Robert Parente was asking why not 3 or 4 cars at a time in the Super Bowl. Well, in the on road because they do it. They only have like 2 classes too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they take the and I think too if you're in the A final or or I don't
So
know
what?
how.
How they do it on the on road? They do it so that TQ always goes straight to the main.
Uh huh.
Then from second to fifth, the 4 cars that are there, they give everyone 3 laps or 4 laps to have their best lap. Everyone gets their own time on the track, one by one, and then the guy who scores the fastest lap gets the second spot in the main. So there's 2 guys straight to the main. One is DQ. One gets through to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah. So Brian Helmetek says have run this format back in Florida with because Lance does it in his Florida RC
Mhm.
championships. He says he loves it. He also says as a sportsman level driver, it took a lot of pressure off, and he ended up driving better.
Exactly.
Um.
This is it. This is exactly it's for top pros with sort of with top pros with proper commentating, proper coverage. You can make it more exciting than the 5 minute qualifiers because it's about pure pace. You can see Fenn pushing it at the absolute limit. He can make a mistake, start it over, get his 3 laps in. Uh, with regular drivers, you go out to the track, try to get your 3 laps in, you make a mistake, you calm down, you maybe go to the pits, get some fuel in or whatever. You keep running, you make your run in 3 laps, and you don't have to take a huge amount of pressure of not crashing. You take the pressure of not being fast enough, which is ideally what you want. And I think it's sort of best of both worlds here. And I think yeah, it's traditional to have 5 minute qualifiers. It's been there since forever. But I think for enjoyment of the people in the RC world, especially these days when these races have 800 entries, you gotta make some changes to fit the schedule of the day. And I think this is one change for the better.
Nathan Genda, I think, wants to know what tires would you run there, Max?
Uh, I mean, uh, is Max bashing
Is
Who's Kenny? Who's Kenny?
Kenny, the kid who always gets killed on South Park?
Oh,
You may not know much about South Park. It's probably before your
I've
time.
watched it. I watched it a lot. But yeah, from tires, obviously their concept. It's pretty clear they are the fastest tire on the East Coast. They've been for a long while. Uh, and yeah, it's like indoor tracks always have a huge tire game involved. Everyone remembers the 2017 Neo or Testament run J concepts in the main. People were the sauce police, all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time it's indoors, tire game is much bigger because of the fact that the sort of natural outdoor dirt, which is burned by the sun, like moved around by the wind, maybe some moisture in as well. Uh, that doesn't happen. It's not natural dirt. It's dirt, hard packed dirt, which attracts rubber. And when it attracts rubber, it's pretty much like asphalt. And when it's like asphalt, the type of rubber, the compounds, all of that comes into play. You get that groove in. Uh, and the thing is, like, if let's say 50% of races run J concepts at this race, J concepts tire will work even better because the rubber which is down is J concepts rubber, and the same type of rubber sticks to itself. In Formula One, for example, there was a time where there were 2 brands, Michelin and Bridgestone, and these brands would sort of take samples of the rubber on the track and produce their tires so that they would pick the type of rubber which would be the worst fit for the other type of rubber. And this way, they would make the track more slippery for the other brand. And both brands did this. So this is like that's why I think spec tires is always the best option because with rubbers, with sort of polymers, it's always such a difficult game. There's so many variables here, and especially if you add oil, it gets even worse. You can see in UK, everyone pretty much has to run Sismic at this point because
Mhm.
that's the only tire that works, and that's the rubber on the track. And Yeah, that's why I personally am a huge advocate for control tires, at least at bigger events. And local events, it's not that big of a deal, but for bigger events, for sure.
Maybe you have a at a race like this. I know up in the Pacific Northwest, they tried a spec tire class, so you could run uh like a separate class, but it was spec tire, you know.
Yeah,
But that just adds more classes to a already uh
yeah. I
uh
that's I'd say I think one of the best things I've seen, sort of on a club level, was in Austria actually. They're sort of, I don't know if it's a club race series or just uh, a club race is in the region. But what they did is they had, like, every brand had their tires. So let's say AK had Impacts, Proline had Blockades, for circuit at hot dices. So every band, if you, no matter which brand you were running, you had one tire thread and compound you picked, and that's what you ran. So, and there was always like those, they were picking threads and compounds that were matching each other, so that you would really get advantage of going to different brand. So this way people could run their own chosen brand, but still be very sort of equally balanced, and you wouldn't
mhm,
have to
mhm.
test a bunch of tires. You would just run the one tire you had. I think that's sort of a good a good balance on a club level, for sure. For bigger
Mhm.
events, I think it's the best, especially events where people fly over. It's always best, in my opinion, to have a control tire.
Oh, excuse me, I must be getting a cold here, man. Donnie B, he says, I really like the Blue Ridge Nationals because they had 10-minute qualifiers and it's heads up racing. Yes, he has a whole different format as well. He's explained it to me. I've forgotten how it goes. Um, but yeah, he that race is getting more popular and he had great coverage as well. Adam Reevy, I don't know how, I know this is another trick to get me. He's the guy who got me yesterday on the live the other day. Is Corey Schmeller there? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
get
get
it
it.
this time either.
Nathan Genda, what spot would be the best place to push a pass? I'd say on that six pack out there.
After the six pack is good, probably before the camel jump as well. The
Oh,
sort
on the
of
camel
nine, you
jump.
can, yeah, you can easily go wide on that double, and if the car behind you get the good line in, he can push the front end in and sort of go side by side over the camel jump, and I think that's a good point to pass. And after the six pack over the elevation, it's very easy to make a mistake, uh, and get your nose in the inside and just make a pass there.
Benjamin James, do you think we'll in nitro class someone might try to push for a 10-minute fuel strategy tomorrow and sneak into the A man? It's possible.
100%, 100%, and that's why I think always last chance mains and all these type of mains should be always be 10 minutes, because there is that fuel strategy in play. 10 minutes is very hard to achieve on most tracks. There are some races like Neo, the old Neo at Harper Adams, and some tracks which 10 minutes is pretty easy to do, which then makes it a bit difficult because some people are always not going to be able to do it and some people are. So then it's a bit more annoying. But when it's like a regular track where most people aren't able to do 10 minutes, there will be one or two guys who can, then I think it's just more exciting, because these guys always have to lift off a bit to make the 10 minutes. So it's sort of that slow and steady for 10 minutes, or fast and then pit and then fast again. I kind of like that strategy game here.
All right. Jake Wilkening.
For
Will
sure not. For
is
sure not.
Horizon buying HP? Man, I'm not surprised at anything Horizon does right now. They want everything.
The thing
Everything.
is, it's already owned by Neidhart. Neidhart also is Orion, and Orion's one of the biggest manufacturers of batteries for RC. They manufacture batteries for other companies as well, and they are huge, especially like RTR batteries. It's pretty huge. So I really can't see something like this happening. I mean, if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised because Horizon just wants to buy everything. They want a monopoly, so then they can control the prices and make even more money. But uh, I don't know. It would be a weird move by Neidhart to sell.
Well, the move that that I'm hearing they're gonna make is weird, but what can we say? What can I say? They just bought 2 tire companies, so
Yeah, but both were.
they want everything.
Well, Proline wasn't going bankrupt, but AK was bankrupt pretty much.
I don't think they were going bankrupt. I don't think Proline was going bankrupt.
No,
I think
no.
they just sold when there was good time. I think
No,
AKA
Proline
was going
wasn't.
bankrupt.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. Like Proline was doing fine, I think. AKA was, I think, and the thing is, Horizon didn't buy AKA; they bought AKA's assets,
So
which
they
pretty
can just
much
produce
means,
more tires there. They
yeah,
bought their
pretty
molds.
much what that means is AK was in debt and Horizon paid their debts off, and now
Yeah.
they own their assets.
Yeah, they own their asses. That's what they do, literally. I don't know, man. We don't have too many more questions. RCJR says the smaller, shorter lap times makes 10 minutes to do less sketchy. So I think people will try longer stops in mains. Yeah, I think guys are
Maybe,
going to do it, especially
maybe,
with 45-minute mains and 30-minute lower mains. Why not? Why not?
yeah.
I know we was planning to do this with the nitro buggy last qualifier coming on, but they kind of messed up the schedule. So Max was a little bit upset about that. What's up, Colton? How you doing?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely was a bit pissed because they had a schedule, first American race ever to see have a schedule, and then they switched it, and I can't find the new one anywhere. So
So if
if
somebody
anyone
has
has
the
the
schedule,
schedules,
please post
yeah,
it.
please post it somewhere so we can see it. But I couldn't find it on Live RC. I couldn't find it on their Facebook. So
All right. Let's
yeah.
see, guys. Who do you think, being as we're going to qualifying tomorrow, who do you think is going to be TQ? Who do you think is going to be a top 3 going to qualifying on Sunday in pro nitro buggy only? We can make predictions of that, can't we, Max?
So Fent has already locked into TQ.
Well, he has to no, because he has to
You
do
know,
that 10-minute race too.
oh, okay, but let's say okay. So so the first qualifying segment, the timed qualifying segment, Fent has locked in the TQ. I think
Yes.
Mayfield is pretty secure in second. Rivkin and Bornhorst is fighting for third. Really, if we're being honest, uh, I'm going with Mayfield to start on pole on Sunday for sure.
He's definitely getting on pace.
Yeah, he
Definitely.
is, and I wouldn't be surprised seeing Fenn make a little wobble, make a little mistake in that 10-minute main, and Mayfield just gets by.
What's up, Curtis? How you doing? Well, I cannot say his name and therefore pick him for legal reasons, so he will now be the person that we do not talk about, whose initials begin with a D and a P. I think he's on fire. But
He
I,
is for
I think
sure.
I
One
think
of his best
Mayfield
races.
is found something too, and
He has.
he's coming, and it's going to be interesting third qualifier here, and I think everybody should tune in because we're going to have moving cameras, and I'm
Yeah.
going to tune in. I wish we could wait until it's on, but it's probably another half an hour away, and Max, she looks super tired, and I'm sure everybody doesn't want to hear us ramble on for another 30 minutes, and we wasn't planning on this being very long anyway. So that is the I think that's it for us. No more questions here. So yeah, nobody has any more questions. We will be we're not doing a recap tomorrow, but we will be doing one on Sunday. We might have to revisit that time now, Max. With
Yeah,
the
we
new
have to.
schedule.
Yeah, we have to revisit the time. We have to look at the schedule. If you guys have a schedule, please post it. If there's a new schedule for Sunday, please post that as well, so we can sort it out. The idea for Sundays, we do it before the main. We go through sort of the time qualifying, which is the third round is about to happen in Nitro Buggy right now. We go through the Super Bowl races that's going to happen tomorrow, and then we get our final picks, and maybe JQ will join us as well.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
gonna be there on Monday for our
for sure,
recap. I don't know,
Monday.
but the recap's
Yeah.
not going to be live. We're just going to record that.
Yeah, but and also after, so the plan is to do it before the main. So after we finish, we'll have a watch along call on Discord so people can join there, have a voice
Hopefully,
call on.
hopefully.
I
Have
think
you figured
it'll
that out?
work out. I mean, it's pretty much just called the voice
We need
call.
to get Rowan on that tomorrow. Then we need
Yeah,
to get
we
Rowan the
need to
barbarian on that
discuss
tomorrow.
Rowan for the final details. So pretty much you just call the voice call on your phone, or if you have a computer, call on that, and then just have the YouTube open to watch the main, and we can talk smack and blame Lefty for picking the wrong guy to finish
Yep.
third, whatever.
Yep. I think it's gonna be good. I think we're gonna be in for some good racing on
Yeah.
Sunday. We're gonna be in for good racing tomorrow, and
For sure.
Sunday is just gonna be even better. I want to thank everybody that took time to join us this evening. Thank you on show number 151 of our AMS days 1.5. I would call this day 1.5 recap. And
Yeah.
join us again Sunday. We'll look out for us. I will be posting. I'll try and post everything tomorrow, so people have time. And hey, man, check out AMS. We got moving cameras. It's going to be some great action. This is probably the last time for this year that you're going to see all these guys together. So this race is very important in that way. Who wins this race goes into in 2022 with that swagger, man. It's gonna be like, yeah, man, you may have won 2-3 races, but I won the last race. So every people remember the first and the last race. So check it out. And if you guys can, please share this. We'll put the audio version of this up later on today or tomorrow. So it's on Podbean, so a lot of people know that they can go and check it out. Remember to please hit that like and share button, sub button on the YouTube channel. We want to get up to 1,500 subs. I think we should be at 5,000 subs or more, but we ain't. So, but we haven't been putting much work into YouTube. So hit that button for us. Also, go to our Instagram, join our Discord. We'll put a link to the Discord in this written description as well. Oh, there is one. There should be one in there actually. And the Discord. The Discord went over 200 members.
Yeah, we hit 200 members on the Discord. It's growing each day. There's new members joining in. So joining let's enjoy RC together as a community. And I think Discord is a perfect place to do it.
Yeah, it's where you can get to know people that come from different cultures, different nationalities, and all over the world, and that we all share the same passion for RC racing. And this guy right here, like, oh man, him and them nerds, they start going, and I just be like, okay, it's time for me to go. Time for me to go. Too nerdy in her. But it's some good stuff. It's some good stuff, really. And please, people, don't be scared. Like, we want conversation in there. Do not.
Yeah, for sure.
That is a place for people to ask questions. That's a place for us to express our opinions and crack jokes and memes and all that type of stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Of course, we got to keep it. We ain't trying to pick on people, but a fight might happen once in a while. But that's just how things go. So, RC Jazz, I saw that you joined it. Thanks, man. Hey, check this guy's YouTube, man. I don't know if it's got up to 1,000 subs, but this guy's been working so hard. And I watched him at the Nationals just eating dust the whole time, getting as much footage as he can get. And his YouTube channels, he does some good race coverage, and we need to pump these guys up, man, because all these channels and all this type of stuff, this stuff gets out in that algorithm, and that's how we get people seeing what we're doing. So go check out RC Jersey's channel. Give him a like and a sub as well, guys. Support those who are making content out there for what we're doing. That he's just doing this because he loves it. Nothing else. So I think that's it. Man. Anywho, if you guys are racing this weekend, safe travels to wherever you're racing. Have fun. Send it. I know it's coming up on winter, so racing's gonna die down. You guys are fortunate to be able to race. Remember that. And my advice is always try to help somebody, at the race, or meet somebody new, or make them feel comfortable at a race or a track. So he says he'll have some new stuff up. No problem, man. Keep up the good work, man. Keep up the great work. Northeast guys, it brings a lot of Northeast racing down. I think that's it, Max. Thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world. I got to do the spiel, Max. We can't go without doing the spiel. And thank you to those guys, man. Honestly, 151 episodes now. almost 300,000 downloads all time. We can't do it without you guys, man. Seriously. And we want to make this bigger. So keep sharing and spreading the NNRC love. Thank you to all the patrons of the podcast. We can't do it without you guys. Going the extra mile. There's a link for that if you wish to become a patron in the written description of this podcast. And of course, we can't do it without sponsors. And I have to say this, if you are a company, we're coming up to the end of the year. If you're a company and you're interested in sponsoring the podcast or advertising, as I like to say with the podcast, we have limited spots available. We are not, we're kind of getting a little bit more selective with our sponsorships as well. We're not trying to have a whole bunch because we don't want to be reading out ad reads for you for a whole, podcast. So if you are interested in sponsoring the podcast, please hit us up. We have tiers for everybody. And just know that your help advertising on this podcast is helping make RC better, I think, and helping us grow and helping spread RC love and get it into people's brains. So with that said, everybody, show the current sponsors some love, please, by going and checking them out. We have coupon codes. You can save some money. We have affiliate links if you can help us out. And they are Mayako, Beach RC, TNR Fuels, High Tech RCD, Techno RC, Sun City RC Raceway, JQ Scale Motorsports, Donovan RC, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Racecraft USA, RCGP, House of RC. Check out the So Dialed app. Download it. It's a great app for you guys. Check my boy. Just got to say, what's up, Kenneth Pope, Lefty Bang Bang, and hashtag Maximus. Oh, man, Kenneth Pope is my boy. Love that dude. You know what? You guys are out. Have a good weekend. Have a good evening. See you guys on Sunday. Tune in Sunday. And, enjoy AMS. You know what? Maxi, and I'm going to say your name first. Maxi and Lefty are out.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. We greatly appreciate all the support and love from you, the listeners. Without all of you, none of this is possible. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. If you wish to support the podcast further, you can at patreon.com/NNRC podcast. As a patron, you will receive early releases, special content, and patron-only giveaways. Also, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, www.nnrcpodcast.com. Remember, Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. If you aren't having fun, it doesn't make sense. And if you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Lefty out. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory.
are so bad.